Welcome to the ICTER Experts online forum. So in this lecture video, I will describe about expert calculation. How do we identify web object using expert and CSS selector or class name, something like this. Let us go to a very simple website, google.com. So if we go to google.com, for instance, we have various web elements here on this page. For instance, at the upper left corner, we have about, link, this is a hyperlink. When we hover our mouse over any hyperlink item, so we see that our finger with an index finger, with the index finger pointing on the hyperlink elements. So these about and store, these are hyperlinked, and here in the bottom left corner, advertising, business, and on the right bottom corner we have privacy, terms, settings. So these are the hyperlink. And other elements, for instance, we have here, this is a search text box, search, and we know this is a button. This is a button. So let us wait. Meanwhile, let us open our project. So we are working on assignment 1004, right? So okay. Yes. Okay. So meanwhile, Eclipse is opening on. Let us see how do we identify or trace web elements. So all elements on this web page by a single name we identify. We call them web elements. Okay, web elements. So there are different kinds of web elements. Some are like these are button elements. These are text box elements. For instance, these are hyperlink elements. So there are search elements. Maybe there are different types of web elements. Okay. So for instance, if we want to, if we write a program like an automation program, and if we want to click on the privacy button, so then in order to write our automation code, we have to detect the position or the identity of privacy elements. So how do we do that? So we select either we select the button, the element, or just bring our mouse over the element and do a right click. So when we do right click, we have several options over here. So we will do the inspect, the last one, the inspect. Okay. So when the inspect window pops up, we will see differently. Hold on a second. So it will show me this window will be divided into two major parts. On the left part, it is showing it is very small, it is a magnifying. This is the privacy element over here on the left, and on the right side we will see our selected elements. So you see that when I bring my mouse pointer on the right side, the highlighted part, it being highlighted on the left side here. You will see that here in privacy, this will be highlighted when I bring my mouse on the right side. So once we see this, that actually initially I intended to inspect these privacy elements, right? So then when I click on the privacy, right click on the privacy, and then when I click inspect, then I got this part selected on the right side. These are the actual code. HTML code for the web page. And when I hover over mouse, you see that in every section, the corresponding web part, element part on the left side gets highlighted. is here. So when I bring my mouse pointer on the right one, this part is highlighted because I initially intended or targeted to inspect this privacy. So this is why it's highlighted over here. So let us see. So when we click over here, then now we'll do click over here, and then we can copy. So at the bottom corner we see a copy expert. This is copy expert. Then we have other options: copy selector, copy outer HTML. Okay. So let us copy outer outer HTML first. Let us see what happens. And if we copy element, okay. So let us do copy element first. Let us see what we come up with. So I click on copy element. So then I want to open Notepad++ file. So remember, I click on copy element. So what is copied over here? The entire thing. The entire thing. You see? Okay. So let us remember this. And then now let me do right click again, and at this time I want to click on copy outer HTML. So let me click on copy outer. I already clicked on copy outer element, and then I copied outer element. So we don't see any difference between copy element and copy outer element. So there are some differences in some cases, but there is not here, right? So here I will come later. Sorry. Okay. So then if I do the right click over here, then select copy, then copy selector. Then I will bring my notepad over here and PC selector. This is selector. So this is selector. This is selector. And this is HTML outer, HTML outer, and element. Okay. Now this time I want to copy the expert. This is expert. Okay. So now, okay. Let us try to understand these things first, like either element or outer HTML. Actually, outer HTML. So the element or outer HTML, so whatever if we highlighted either one. So you see, this is a tag. This is a tag. This tag name is A for anchor tag for HTML. So if you do a Google search like for HTML tag list or tag sheet, if we go tag list. So HTML element references. You see there are several tags for HTML. A tag, ABBR tag, acronym tag, B tag, base tag. So there are some tags most commonly used, like for A for anchor. So if you come to this page and if you do Google search something, click on over here, it will show you what is a tag. HTML A element is anchor element. Is used to create hyperlink to link with other pages or files. So a tag, this P tag is for paragraph. You will list and number list, li list. So you see that most of the tags, they started with this and they ended with forward slash with the tag name. This is the starting point of this tag, and this is the end point of this tag. So A tag is for anchor. You see, A tag is used for anchor. So within the A tag, whatever we put something here. You see, this is the end or beginning of A tag. So inside this, we have put class name. Then after them, we put a hyperreference. Hyperreference is that. So that means when we click on the reference, it will go to this page. And then this is the privacy tag. This is the text. It is showing instead of showing the whole hyperlink. Okay, it is showing only just privacy. So actually, we on this page we see the privacy only over here, but actually in the behind the privacy we have the entire this hyperreference code. So when we click on the privacy link, it will be clicked actually here on this slide. Okay. So now if we see selector actually is CSS selector. It starts with a hash sign. All CSS selector, it starts with a hash sign. Then we see that hash sign FSR. This is the CSS selector position. And XPath, at the end of XPath, this is the XPath. Okay, so all XPath. So that I want to, in this video actually, I want to teach you how to write XPath, custom XPath. Actually, all XPath start with the beginning to forward slash. Then we write the tag name. Okay. Then within the square bracket, we will type in @ then we will type in property name. For instance, property ID. Property name. Then we'll put equal to, within double quotation, we'll put value.
Sometimes this property name is called attribute.
Yes, this is the attribute or property name, and then this is value. Okay, this is the format. Okay, so sometimes, thank you. Sometimes, let me start with this. On that hash, sometimes instead of typing the tag name, we can put like here is tag name. For instance, tag name is this one is the tag name. Take A. So we will put A over here, tag name. Okay. Then within angle bracket, we will put anything in the tag name. For instance, anything in the tag name, but where you put ID, this ID actually is not shown here, but this ID is the parent ID. This ID is the parent ID. So parent ID means this ID is somewhere at the top of this element. So actually top is the element. Parent means, for instance, when the developers developed this website, they made the entire thing, for instance, either this entire stuff or the entire whole this row as a single element. So this is span, they call span. You see actually these three, privacy, terms and settings, they call span. And they put an ID for the ID name of the span. So this ID name is FSR. You see FSR. So when you click on FSR, it selects the entire three things. FSR is the entire three things, both privacy, terms and settings. So this ID actually came from the parent. This ID actually came from the parent. And since this parent has more than one element, one child, it has multiple children. So then, if same element has more than one child element by his name, then we call this array. So then, since we are looking for the first element, then we are putting is by after hash another hash. This is the A is array name or anchor name, or this is the tag name, and we're putting array index 1. So in HTML, array index is here started with 1, 2, not 0. So then, for instance, if we select this one, then it will select the privacy one. Okay, so this one. Okay, so this one. Now, for instance, if I copy, we have this, right? So there is a way, so if we select this second element, then what would we see that here? It is selecting the second one, right? Terms. You see the terms? It is selecting the terms. Then if we click on the third one, then we will see what is the settings. So let me copy the terms as well. Okay. So then copy, and then copy XPath. So then let us see. I want to show you the difference between okay, you see, then XPath, this is the XPath of privacy, right? And this is the XPath of settings, terms. Sorry, this is the XPath of terms. This is the XPath of terms. This is the XPath of privacy. So if we want to now, if we want to find the XPath of settings, so then that will be, I can identify here quickly, XPath of settings will be, can anyone please tell me? XPath of settings, since these are under one array, so that position is number 3. Okay. So we got this XPath for privacy element. This is the XPath for privacy element. All of these elements have a single common ID. That ID is FSR. This is here FSR. And all elements have same class name fx4vi. Okay. But other 3 elements are here on this span, and within this span, and so these elements are identified by A1, A2, A3. Okay. Now there is a way to validate whether my XPath calculation is corrected or not. Okay. So then, if we click on the console, you see the console tab over here. Originally I was in elements, this tab. So if I click on console tab, then for validating XPath, I will write in dollars. Then for X, not X, then within parentheses, I will put the sorry, I will put the XPath within double quotation. Okay, so there is a mistake over here, common mistake I do always. So then I have to, just if I put up arrow, so I have to change, when I find XPath here, I have to replace this double quotation to single quotation in order to put it in total. I have to replace all double quotation into single quotation. I will tell you why. Okay, so then I put what is the mistake after argument list?
Still you have this double quotation.
Oh, still I have double quotation here?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so when I replace the double quotation by single quotation, then I see that what is that you see? It is showing me, if I click on the array, then it shows, once it shows me length, okay, length equals to 1, then I know that and confirm that I have got only one element. Okay, now for instance, if I put this without this array. Okay. Then it is showing me span, and it should have 3 length, but it is showing me a span. Okay, the span name, span hash sign FSR, that is showing a span, not the entire array. That is showing something. I don't need to go and mess up with my design. Actually, we can validate by element one by one, not multiple elements over here. So over here, so what else I'm trying to do here. So if I put my X path over here, so then if I do not see any error over here, then I'm right. Then I'll see, okay, my X path calculation is valid. And then once I see over here, A dot is the array name, okay, A is the array name, and dot fx4vi. You see where we see fx4vi. fx4vi. This is the class name, right? This is the class name we saw. This class name we found common for all. You see class name fx4vi, fx4vi, and also for this one fx4vi. Okay. So now if you go to console tab, we have to validate in console tab. Now if I do the second element, okay, then it is showing same thing. But we will check by the length. If we find the length equal to 1, then we will be confirmed that we have selected only one element. Then for the third element, what do I need to do? Kamal, can you tell me? I want to build the third element.
Replace number 2 with 3.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Then it is showing me an empty, right? I'm not sure why it is showing my empty. Okay. So this has length 0. That means it could not detect the third element. It could not detect the third. I'm not sure why it did not detect the third element. So let me see this one. Okay. So let me see. How do I write it? We will write it pound sign. Okay. Then X, and then parentheses, and then we will give double quotation. A set of double quotation. A pair of double quotation. Then within pair of double quotation, we will put the X path has to replace by after replacing double quotation by single quotation. Okay, it is not getting the third element. Can we get 0th element? No. But most of the programming languages, array start with 0. So this is confusing, even confusing to me. It starts from off. I don't know the logic behind this. Okay. So, for instance, then we have seen here the X part of privacy is this, right? Okay.
Sometimes this console validation does not correct. Sometimes it may show the wrong pattern.
Right. Okay, but let us. But most of the time we can validate quickly.
Yeah, most of the time, but we are not 100% accurate. I have some experience with that.
Okay, that's good. Okay. So now let us open our project. For instance, test this. What do you write out program? Let me see. This one. Okay. So now if I want to click on this privacy tab, okay, so then what I will do in my program code. So last week I discussed like this one, right? System.setProperty, and then we have WebDriver.Chrome.driver, and we put the our driver address here, right? Everybody understand this?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so these two lines are the lines for all programs. We need these two lines. Okay, then the third line, driver.get. Okay, so we are giving the web URL of the page that we want to open. So after that, if we want to click on the privacy link, then we will do driver.find element. My computer is slow. Driver.find element dot find. You see, when we come to find element, this third line, it shows find element is a method, and it takes one by type argument. By the type is the class name, by uppercase by type, and the argument name they give by UI by, but any name they could give over here. But we will see that by the uppercase by is the type or class name, and then it returns a web element. After colon, whatever we see, this method returns this web element, and this method find element is declared within the web driver class. So this is meant by this line, So we have another corresponding element, web elements, yes. Okay, so when we want to work with multiple elements in an array, then we will use find elements later. So we remember that for find element we have to use by. So we are giving by dot, and then after by we are calling a static method. These are the static methods: by ID, by link test, by name, by partial link test, by expert. So the easiest and convenient way is to use by ID. If ID is available within my selected code. So here my selected code is I can close it over here. I want to pull it up again. Sorry. My selected code over here is privacy, right? Privacy. So inspect. So within privacy, do I have ID? No. I have ID here within span, but that is out of my selected area. So here I cannot use ID directly. If I would have ID over here, a ID equal to this something, so then we could use ID directly. But here we are not lucky enough that we don't have ID directly within our selected area. So this is why we have to use expert differently. Okay. So, but we have here, this is the privacy word. Privacy is the link test. So as I mentioned, this is the link test. This privacy is link test. This terms is the link test. This settings is the link test. So we have a way that if we use by link test, then we can easily give the link test. But here we want to use by expert. Easy to select automatically. Instead of typing initially, if we select expert, so in expert we see that this method, it takes one argument, string type argument, that expresses the expert of the web element, and it returns a by type element, and this expert is declared within the by class. This is the meaning of this line. So if we select, double click on this expert, Then within double quotation, we have to give the expert name. So then, okay, we're not done yet. You see, why we need to replace double quotation within by single quotation? Because we know this is a string. So we are giving the expert, we are giving a string type value to expert, and since this expert, this in our expert we already have a double quotation. So this is why within a double quotation, another set of double quotation would make an error. So this is why we are giving here, we are replacing the double quotation, middle double quotation by single double quotation. Okay, so then this method is not done yet because within our, according to our definition of expert, so if we now select the type, I press F3, it will take me to the declaration by class. So it is a static method, you see, public static by. This by is the return type by an expert, and it takes a final type string express. Finals means it cannot be replaced, it cannot be changed. Once we assign this to final, okay, and this return method returns a byte type in something is here, byte type object. You see, byte it returns. Okay, so what we are giving here, okay, so this is not done yet, so since it returns something by another object, okay, byte expert, this is why we need to give something else, something else, for instance, let us see what it expects at the end, which is dot, okay, then it has multiple options. It has clear, click, equal, gain by find element. Okay, actually we will click on web element type click. Okay, then it is happy. Then what will be doing here? So now it is clicking on the, so I don't need these two lines. It is clicking, it will click on the expert. So if we run this program, then we will see, then it will click on the expert. We will run this program and wait over here. So then if we see, so we have given a print panel over here. So that means if we see in our program code, if we see this text output on our console, then we will be sure that this line is executed. So let us click over there, do right click, and then let us click on run as, and then run as Java application. You will see shortly it will click, it will open, it will click, it will open a Google page, and it will click on the privacy types. Okay, so then it is waiting for a few seconds. So now if I go to this, you see that I see that click on the privacy link. That means up to this has been executed. All codes up to this are executed. Okay.